Okay, so I have somewhere to be in like an hour and 45 minutes, so I guess I should make this a short one. We'll see how that goes. Although it's past couple of days, they've kind of been that way. Plus, I'm over here hanging out with my friends. So, oh, here's the other one. Sorry. Missed one. Yes, so giving them time out of their crate, so I'll be here for a little bit, but still at some point I gotta go to the baby shower. Giddy. Ended up, okay, so the other day I said I had 3 days of like family time to look forward to, and then the first one ended up falling off. The second one ended up falling off also. For whatever reason, my dad decided he wanted to go, and it's like, we really don't all need to go on this trip, so I will stay home and work on my birdcage, because that was the more pressing thing for me anyway. So I skipped that family time. Sorry. Please don't mess everything up. Stop it. Okay. Anyway. So I still have family time today. That one I can't get out of. But it'll be alright. It's at least warming up, so theoretically I can go skating afterwards. I think the high today is like 35, so that's warm enough to get the family out of my system after I spend the day with them. Or a couple hours with them anyway. Yeah. So last night, it's so weird. Okay, one of the things I've been praying for, I guess, is that all the big obstacles that are standing in my way will be moved out of my way, right? Kind of a thank you that the obstacles that are in my way of this happening are, falling away and no longer issues. So I guess yesterday I kind of ran headfirst into one of those shifts. So it was really something kind of stupid, but it was very triggering for me at the moment. And I had this, okay, I even spent time in quiet. I don't know if it was right after the thing came up or before, but I had like a good 35 minutes that was quiet, like really quiet and kind of meditative and all that fun stuff, right? So should have been in a good space with that, but yeah, it just wasn't really sitting right. So I got triggered and had this moment of thinking very seriously about just deleting my channel. And yeah, because the old me would have done that, right? That would have been, it's like there's something comes up that challenges the way you've been believing about things, and suddenly you're second guessing everything. I think I figured out yesterday's video. It doesn't matter if I set this on the chair. We'll see if it sucks today. Sorry. But yeah, old me, any hint of being wrong, I would have reverted back to hiding under my rock and, deleting all the effort that I've put into this whole journey and everything. It's like, I think just from the videos I started with to the ones I do now, I think it's pretty, not that I think anybody's really going back to the original ones yet, but I think it's pretty clear for me that there's a lot of things have changed for me, right? So, and it doesn't kill me to get going on one like it used to. Sometimes there are days I spend a ridiculously long time thinking about it before I get into it, but for the most part, I'm doing better about just, all right, ready, go. Hit the button, start talking. But still, it's been a process to get to this point, right? So I have like over 160 videos, and like I was thinking very seriously about just deleting the whole channel and making it go away and then going back and hiding under my rock. And it's like, I've talked a lot here lately about how I'm kind of in this transition phase where I can't go back to the way things were, but also still not clear on the path ahead. So yeah. So obviously I did not delete the channel, but I did think about it. Yeah, and it was just that I've done over 160 videos at this point in time. That would be stupid. If I do that, I can't get that back. I mean, technically I could because I still have all those videos, but that would be a lot of time and effort wasted, I think. And I don't want to do that again. You know, I say again because when I first started, I think I did just under 10 videos the first time, like from the end of 2023, so November 11th through whenever in December. And I got to a point where I had to walk away from it for a while. It's like I expanded so far beyond what I thought I was capable of doing just by having started the channel. And then when I was doing the thing, I did eventually get to a point where it was like really kind of overwhelming to realize that everything that I thought to be true for myself ended up not being necessarily the case, right? So yeah. Anyway, I was journaling through some stuff and talking about all that and kind of missing my rock that I've lived my life under, to be honest. But, you know, it is what it is, and I've changed and grown and all that fun stuff since then, so couldn't do that. And I happened upon this thing, it's this Synchronistic page on Instagram, and it had this thing posted. It said, "You become your ideal self in the moments you catch yourself about to do something you know you shouldn't, that your prior self would, and instead of making an excuse or shrugging it off, you stay conscious about your actions and do what you know you should do." So, you know, I continued on with yesterday's video and went ahead and posted it anyway, rather than deleting everything off and all that fun stuff. So, and there's this other thing that popped up, and I don't know what it was, but the thing that got my attention was there's like 24.4 thousand likes and 244 something else. I don't know if it was, that seems like low on the comments for that many likes, but I don't know. But 244 stuck out to me, and if numbers catch me a certain way at a certain time, and it's like, I should look that up. And so I did. And so here's the sound. Thank you. I don't feed you in my nose or my mouth, for God's sakes. Just sit next to me. It's okay. Okay. Clearly it's not okay. So I look up angel number 244, right? And it says, a message of balance and stability, and to remain focused and grounded by knowing the fact that angels are surrounding and supporting you as you move towards your life purpose and mission. Angel number 244 is encouraging you to become the highest version of yourself, and angels and universal energies are boosting your confidence and ready to help and assist you. And after I wrote those two things down, I go to leave my brother's house last night. Man, you got me covered in dog hair. And it's 11:11 as I'm leaving, right? So it's like, okay, well, yesterday was one of those numbers that wasn't real big on the synchronicities, and it felt like there was a wobble, basically, before I even got to the point where there really was a wobble. So I felt like that was kind of just bringing it in because it was coming in anyway. yeah, but I had to face that moment of do I or don't I, and the whole thing was reverting back to something I would have done in the past, but knowing I couldn't do that now. Go see if I gotta potty this dogs again. Okay, so I don't know who's cooking out in the neighborhood, but something smells amazing. And yeah. Anyway, like one of the things that I felt inclined to walk away from was this whole twin flame connection to some level. And obviously it's something that whole connection is the reason I am where I am now. And even though I just still don't have anything to show for like how much I've changed yet, I feel like in order to in order to really figure out what I need to do at this point in time, that's just like, even with the triggering thing, it's just kind of like, I gotta be done with this right now. It's like, this is like irrelevant. And some of the intentions that I've set for the whole thing, I feel like I'm at the point where with those intentions, like, okay, the first was that, well, and the idea that we would meet, that he would know who I am and who I am to him. And for some reason, that was how it came out when I was thinking it. So it's like, in order for him to know any of that, like, I got to know who I am first, right? And that was another piece of that. I would have my own thing and figure out, or I would have something I know that I'm supposed to be doing specifically that has absolutely nothing to do with that connection, right? So in order for either of those things to happen, it involves me knowing myself completely and being able to follow the things that I want to do. Like the other day, I was talking about all those synchronicities that were coming up just in following the whims of things that brought me excitement in the moment, right? Or made me happy in the moment in some kind of way. And that was this whole room switch project, and then realizing knowing I needed to downsize the bird cage and all this stuff, and then I find one that the lady comes down on the price on, and it was worth the drive to me, and it was a weird shape because I like things that are weird, I know. Here's one that I thought about the other day that I didn't talk about. Okay, as into my colors as I am, my mom made a comment at some point about even mismatched socks. And it's like, no, I can't do mismatched socks. It's like, the outfit is a whole thing in and of itself. Like, this is a whole thing that I process through, but like mismatched socks, that is not on the agenda. It's like, it really bothers me when I have to mismatch my socks. So yeah, random dumb fun fact, I guess. But the only reason I was thinking about that was because a lot of my socks have ended up, like, through the time that the laundry was getting split up weird, and it became a catch-all. In that time frame, it's like they just got thrown together, and then it's like, nothing matches. So when I was trying to find socks, it was really hard to find the matched ones, if I didn't immediately go through. And every now and then, like, I will pull socks out and leave them set aside like in another bag or something, where eventually I will go through and like split them out and like find the matches and get rid of the ones that don't have matches. But yeah, for some reason, as into planning my color combinations in my outfits, I can't do mismatched socks. That bothers me. And part of that came up because I couldn't find, I have these gray ones, and okay, the gray, and they kind of have something that's kind of that similar to that color. And there was like a set of them that have different patterns on them, and some of them had like this argyle pattern on them, and others had spots. Okay, and I used that one because I found a spotted sock, but then I couldn't find the other sock, so I found the argyle one, and I was going to put them together just because I didn't have the matches to either of them, and it was driving me nuts, but I needed more. I didn't know where more of my socks were at that moment. And then I went and sat on the couch, and my laundry basket with clean clothes has moved to the living room while I've been trying to get things switched around to make the shift, right? And I happened to look up and see the one with the spots on it. And it's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to mismatch. Oh, but that was so aggravating. I was like, I don't want to do this. But then it like happened to cross my path at just the right time because, hey, universe knew where they were, right? So, yeah. Let's see where. Okay, 12 o'clock. Hour and a half for this nonsense. And they're waiting on me. Also, random pet peeve, when dogs just randomly lick the clothes that I'm wearing. Oh, I hate that. Taz likes to do that. It's like, not my pants, don't lick my pants. Buttercup just licked my sleeve, so yuck. And that one's really bad because usually if she's going to get drool on you, then she leaves a smear, and it's gross. Thankfully, I don't think I have that issue, since this is what I'm wearing to the thing one way or another. Yeah. My wrinkles, awesome. Finally warm enough to put my leggings back in, or on, and yeah. Okay, so I mentioned a while back that I have like these 2 gem dolls that I felt like I needed to pull out of the stuff that I was letting Gracie play with. And they've gotten shuffled in. I set them aside so I could find the clothes, and then my mom was going through the closet that has her toys in it and getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and a bunch more stuff ended up over there, so now I gotta look for them all again. Preferably before kid gets back in town, so I can find the dolls, find the clothes, and take the 2 that I feel like I'm supposed to pull out, right? So the 2 that I have felt drawn to, one of them is this character called Dance, but spelled with an S, according to my Google search the other day. And I think a big part of it is like the hair this doll has is literally like mine is right now, like the same kind of colors. So that was one of them. It's like, she has hair like mine. I need to pull this one out. But then the other one was this character called Jetta, and I don't remember anything about either of them, to be honest, but Jetta has black hair with silver streaks in it. So I think I mentioned when I talked about it before that I feel like it's kind of the reason I'm supposed to pull them out is, to speak to that inner child piece, but also the acknowledgement of the light and the dark aspects of myself, right? So, and that actually works because when I was somewhere in the Alabama stuff, when I was working on leaving the last time, was it the last time or the second to last time? Somewhere in there, I started dyeing my hair like dark purple to where it was almost black, but not quite. And yeah, So it just, thinking back with those kinds of things, it just seems really relevant now. But I feel like I'm supposed to pull those characters out and keep them in my office space. I talked the other day about how I pulled that Sacred Medicine Oracle card that talked about sacred space and blowing intention into all the things you put into the space to support who you are becoming and the growth you want to experience for yourself. Being intentional about the things you have in the space. And of course, that was very appropriately timed since I'm in this process of shifting my office and my bedroom. And I feel like, especially the office space, yeah, especially both, really. I just really want to, I guess, be intentional about it, and the one thing that the guidebook talked about was, you might choose there might be sacred objects or feathers or whatever. And it's like, I have this freaking pigeon feather in the escape that's my, that's my ride. That every now and then it gets knocked off. Like Ziva, her leash will hit it, or she knocks it off with her foot or whatever. And it always bothers me when the pigeon feather goes missing. And it's really silly. But that one seemed especially important. Now, when I'm skating, I will, like, if a feather comes across my path, like that one happened to, and it's like, this thing is meant to be in my life. So we just roll with that, right? And so we did. And it's in the car, and it took me a little bit. It didn't take real long to figure out what it was. Because the weird thing about the pigeons, I've talked about them before. They're not really common around here. There were 3, and it's like anytime I was skating, I would always see 3 together. I say were because one day when I was walking the dogs, we went past this little shelter thing that they have next to a retention pond over at the schools. And it was gruesome looking. I think a pigeon had flown through and gotten snagged on a nail that was sticking out. And it had struggled. And like with all the poop that was everywhere and just how it was hanging, it kind of looked like it might have decapitated itself in its body, to be honest, because it just looked all kinds of wrong. And I sent a message to the grounds office at the school and let them know it was there, so they got it cleaned up. But it was there a couple days, and it was like, ooh, that's just a gruesome thing to walk past. But I always saw 3 of them together, and now I just mainly see 2. Actually, I haven't seen them in a little bit. Well, I haven't skated in a little bit, so it makes sense that I wouldn't see them, right? And I don't know how into the cold they are, how far south they might go for the winter months, but these months have kind of sucked. So, yeah. What? Yeah, but like when it's in the single digits at night, I completely understand not wanting to stick around here. I don't know, the geese are kind of funny because they're usually around. I have pictures of them from the year that it got so cold that they would fly in to go land on the lake and just slide across. So yeah. What do you think? Yeah, okay. No, that's enough. Oh, don't slime me. Damn it, don't slime me. There, that's better. Give me your butt. And this one. Yeah, but I feel like the big thing is just bringing my focus back to myself and the one step at a time kind of a thing. And, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing at this point in time. I have some ideas. I have some things that have stood out along the way that seem pretty important that I feel like I'm not done with, but I don't know what to do with those yet. Like the pictures. And I mean, especially those, it's like, I don't know what to do with that. There have been some good ones, but shy of having a random zoo contest pop up, I would never done anything with them because what do you do with those? I mean, I guess include them in my own writing or whatever, or write things just so I can use the pictures for them. I don't know. I don't know if I put that vultures thing on vocal media or not. It's another thing I can do. Get back on there. But that's like, I mean, it's not hugely expensive. It's like $10 a month to keep it going so I can post on there. So far, it's usually where I'm at right now. Something will come up. I'll write something. It's like, ooh, that's really good. And then I want to put it out there. So I get back on vocal for 30 seconds and post the thing and then cancel the subscription until the next time, or wait a month so I can take advantage of it if anything else comes up, and then cancel out at the end of the month. But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the day by day how I've been taking things, kind of a thing. But God, it's really just aggravating not knowing what to do and where I'm meant to go next up or whatever. It's like I have random ideas, but I don't know what to do with the ideas. And then there's that one card, I think the Sacred Destiny Oracle, that keeps coming up with patience, because patience is big too. And of course, turtles being a theme. Hey, I got a cool picture of a turtle last year or the year before. A couple, actually, because one day I went to take the dogs on a walk, and there was a turtle by the driver's side door. I was like, oh, it was by the passenger door or the back seat on the driver's side. And that's always the side I put the dogs in on. And I saw it and was like, oh, we got to go in the other way this time. So I put them in on the other side of the car and then got a picture of it and then moved it and got another picture of it. And it was gone by the time we got back. So, yeah. And then, see, that's another one. Those have been relevant, and I didn't even realize they were relevant. That's pretty much how everything is in my life, right? Like when we first moved back up here, I think the first summer, I started this album on Facebook with weird things the dogs have brought me. Because that was the year, okay, in the summer, this was back before Gidge was very independent. She's more independent now than she used to be. She used to be super clingier than she is now. She can do things she wants. She's comfortable enough going around the rest of the house now, since we've been there for 5 years. Oh God, almost 6. Fuck. Yeah, because we moved out of the house in Alabama in 2019 and got back up here. And yeah. So it took a little while for her to really warm up to the idea of we're here. This is home for now. And the first summer, let's see, I think it was like June, she comes in the dog door one day and she lays close to the door and has her back to me. It's like, she got something she's not supposed to, because she doesn't do that. She always has been inclined to come over and greet me immediately, like when she gets back in or whatever. It's not lay there with your back to mom and what's going on kind of a thing. So it's like, I know knew she was up to something, and I went over there and she had brought this little baby turtle, and it was like this big, and that thing was pissed. I took it from her and I got a little bucket of some sort that I put it in, and I put it in to show it to Gracie when she came back in the room. Or I think maybe they were going to drop her off. I don't know. But they were bringing her over. And so I kept it in a bucket. And I mean, I did rinse it off because it had dog hair all over it. Had a little bit of water in the container. But it had some damage, but it wasn't horrible. And yeah, so that was one of the things in the album. But it's this little turtle, right? And then when I started going to the Inner Path group, we're talking about somebody's going to bring something up in group, and then you're going to start seeing it everywhere. And it's like, that's literally how everything kept happening. And stop! I don't need your help with this. Yeah, my legs are a little hairy, but it's all right. Okay, so somebody mentioned something about sea turtles, and it started this conversation. And it didn't even register right away, but I did have this at the time, and it didn't immediately register, but then it did, and I was like, oh! So it's literally like following me around, right? So this little sea turtle, just regard my leg hair. Yeah, that was so silly. The story behind the sea turtle was there was a guy at this tattoo shop that my friend had recommended, that he was the apprentice, so he was limited on designs he could do, and he was, having a little, trying to get practice, basically. And he had certain designs he could do, and he was limited to the legs starting out. So I ended up with the turtle there. He's also the one that did my raven on the other side. Yeah, what the hell? Right there. So, because he was looking for practice, they were a lot cheaper than they would have been for the normal people. And so those two designs I really liked. I think I got the raven first, because birds always have more of a draw than the reptiles, but all the same, I ended up with both, right? And then we have this conversation one day in the group, and I start seeing those everywhere, and then I realize I have the tattoo on my leg. It's like, oh, okay. So clearly that's a relevant animal as well. And what was I thinking? Oh, there was one day, I think I was leaving that area another time, not from the Inner Path group, but I saw this Jeep that was covered in sea turtles. It's like, that is not something you see every day, but I saw it, so that was interesting. Yeah. But, turtles speak to that patience thing, right? So, theme of life, and basically, I mean, the whole fact that, I had that vision when I was that knowing when I was in high school that I would be 40 before things started to make sense for me. And yeah, that was dead on. So, of course, it's a matter of piecing things together, and it's still kind of slow going at times. But this this phase in between is driving me nuts. It's like, ideally, I will not live in this town. Hopefully, I can get out before the summer. I have literally no idea how that would work out, because I have after I pay the thing that I realized didn't come out automatically, I'll have 20 cents in the account until I get paid for this other dog dealy. So yeah, there's no credit or anything. It's like, I'm gonna have to figure something out, but I don't know what's gonna be, and I don't know how it's gonna work. But I gotta find my way out of this situation. So, and okay, that patience card, one thing it talks about is how when the fog is dense and you can't see what's ahead, all you can do is tend to basically what's in your space now. Take the one step at a time, and don't make any big moves, because it's best not to jump into something crazy when you can't see clearly. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of where I am. 12:22. Yeah, 222. There they are again. The dogs and the numbers, because yesterday was kind of weird on numbers. This morning's been kind of weird on numbers, but it's like, as I'm piecing things together, what I need to do and what I need to not do, then yeah. And I think the thing, on that twin flame piece, I think part of, for a long time, that's been future oriented. It's kept me moving forward to walk away from the path, or from the world that I've been living in, and the way things have been. But at the same time, I feel like I'm at this point now where it's almost keeping me locked into the old way of being, because it's still the thing that moved me away from the other thing, right? I watched a couple videos on YouTube from different pages that talk a lot about that stuff, and one of them, actually, I think they both hit home to it, but I don't really remember exactly what they were talking about. I just remember, it's more, I watch it and I'm registering what's happening, but I'm feeling through it more than I am retaining stuff, because my retention is kind of jacked. But yeah. But somehow it's just the two things that I watch. It's that's kind of where I am. It's just, I gotta move beyond it, kind of set it aside and not worry about it. No attachment and all that fun stuff. It's previously, it was literally the thing that kept me moving forward, but now it's more the thing that's kind of causing me to not trust where I'm at completely. Because is it too... it's basically all daydreams anyway, right? So, it's locking me into the daydream kind of space that I needed to start moving away from the past family density type issues. And yet, because there's this big, it's basically, it feels like I'm, in the Shaman's Dream Oracle, one of the cards talks about you're standing in front of this, you're standing at the edge of a cliff with your toes over the edge, and the only thing keeping you from taking the leap is you. It's like literally, you're leaping into the unknown and trying to do things you've never done before. So, of course, it's messy, and of course, it's hard. But I don't remember what the card I pulled the other day from the same deck was that talked about that's where growth comes from, is the messy, the complicated, the all those things. The things that make you anxious, and it doesn't look pretty when you're going through it, or when you're and trying to get to the other side. It just doesn't. But that's, I don't know. The journey is the destination, kind of an idea, I guess. Man. I'm just ready for something else. I just don't know what it is. Like I said, it kind of goes back to that piece where I've talked about how I'm basically I've spent my lifetime collecting data, and now it's like what to do with the data that I have now realized I've been collecting over all this time. And I know I'm supposed to write at one level, and I think that's kind of where this present snag, or where part of the present snag is, because when I'm over here all the time, I don't have the time to focus on the writing like I should also. And I got to figure out a new way of starting the day, because I still got to end on like favorable things, but now they're not connected to anything other than what life do I want to live, and how do I want to be in the world? What does that look like? I don't know. I just don't know, and it's frustrating, but that's where I'm at. I'm glad I did not delete my channel, because everything in me wanted to delete the channel. Luckily it was short-lived. I have over 160 videos. That's all those days that I did the video and then posted it. It's like however many days that's been going on, because that was the biggest thing, that when you don't have to lick my hand. I know you love me. It's okay. My hands are dry and she's wanting to lick the sore spot. But yeah, it's like, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, when I deleted the first videos, because I was afraid of the channel doing anything while I wasn't messing with it, was the big thing. And I took like 2 months off. And then when I got back to it, then I got to a point where it's like, I need to put those back up. And then that was an awkward phase. But luckily for that time period, and the fact that I did delete what I had, and then I realized how much I regretted it when I went to put it back later. That was a big thing keeping me from doing it yesterday, because there's a big difference between like, I didn't even put them all up. I know I skipped the first one because it was so miserably painful, that it was just like, I'm not putting that one back up. It was scripted and sitting next to the gravestone over at the cemetery, Tyler's gravestone. And I didn't post that one. Good 7 though. But see, and then it was still weird because, usually I just use a picture of my face for the video, whatever. And I had started that from before, but then it felt weird to go back to the old pictures and try to put those with the videos, and it was a whole thing, so I didn't. And I wasn't about to try that with 160 plus videos. So screw that. So it's like, it is what it is. If it's, hey, look at all the stupid shit you thought before. Yeah, well, you know, still part of the process. It's still the thing that got me moving on the path. And that's, I think, at the end of the day, that's the most important part of it. But it's not the whole path. So how to navigate what is the path? Yeah. Anyway, 45 minutes, and I saw 515, which is my great grandma's number. It's 12:30, so I should probably go wrap this up so I can go deal with baby shower shit and hang around with people I'm not looking forward to. I do have my headphones in my purse, so if I need to need to revert to that, I can. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I feel like this is what it is today. So how do I get myself in a better feeling space enough to what are you doing over there? To not draw in more annoying stuff today, right? And you got a basset hair in your nose. Yeah. And now there's Paul on the chair with me. Yeah. I think since we're back in the 30s, I might go ahead and walk everybody today, but not right this second because I got things to do first. But also I want to skate. So I got to figure all that out, but I don't have to figure it out right this second. I just got to focus on one step at a time, right? So the current step is to put these guys up and get ready to go to a baby shower. Goody. And my cousin, luckily, she's the one taking it on since she's having the first child after his death. She's the one that is naming the child slightly in his honor. The middle name is supposed to be Donald, so it's like, okay, better you than me, because I wouldn't do it. And I would be very open about not wanting to do it either. So yeah, so hopefully I'll just behave myself around the people that don't appreciate how fucked up this whole the whole situation has been. And yeah, I'll figure it out. Anyway, as always, I appreciate you. Until the next time, see ya.